Uh, Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Angie's Angles. It is January the 29th in the year of my Lord 2026. I got the year right this time. Thank you for joining us here, broadcasting live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. Tonight's subject matter is the Freddy Peralta signing and the possible extension. Now, rumors coming out of Citi Field, out of the front office, is that, and Freddy Peralta's mouth, is that he's in no rush to sign, um, which is okay, which is understandable. I wouldn't sign either right now if I were him and or the Mets. However, as we get deeper into the season and Freddie and the Mets are being successful, a lot of conversations are going to take place between Stearns and Peralta's people. If Peralta replicates the last two seasons, a high 2 ERA. Hey, Harold Clark, what's going on? I am Duo Interstatal. Thank you, fellas, for joining. Clark, I appreciate you being here too, as always. Harold, you too. Freddie Peralta signing for the Mets has me jacked. As I discussed on previous Angie's Angles, when Freddy Peralta came available, hit the scene, I drafted him in my fantasy league for about 20 cents. It was a keeper league, and it paid big dividends. He's a high strikeout guy. That's the strikeouts are points, ERAs points, and wins are points. And Freddy Peralta did not fail me. The interesting thing with Freddy Peralta is we have him for 1 year. And whether you believe or not that a lockout's going to happen for the 2027 season, which Angie's Angles is dead set against happening. I cannot optically see this happen. I can't see the owners willing to give up all that revenue. I can't see that the players don't want to play. You got a mix of players, right? You got the veterans that got solid contracts, but in the lockout they don't get paid, but they've already made their shekels. But that's like, what is that, 5 to 8% of the top guys making the big bucks. Now all the other guys, sure, the average salary in Major League Baseball is about $1 million. Now who can't live off of that? I understand, but baseball will suffer a very big viewership letdown if there's a lockout. It almost ruined the game recently when the lockout happened. Don't forget, we're not that far removed from COVID. Mark Brooks, my brother from another, what's going on? Mark, if you're anywhere near Raleigh, Carolina, we're talking about 8.5 inches of snow on this impending storm. So little weather update for those that are being affected by the storm. Us on Long Island, after coming off about a foot of snow this past weekend, we wanted no more snow, and it looks like all indicators are saying for the New York metro area that the storm is moving east off the coast and going out to the sea. However, the 50-mile change northwest, and we're talking about plowable snow. So at the moment, I think we're out of the woods. There's nothing going to happen. That's an Angie's Angles weather update. Stay safe. I would like to say that we're having a warm spell, but we're not. We're at 15 degrees. I'd like to know where all these climate people are. Greta Thunberg is probably rolling around wherever she's from, complaining that it's too cold. It's too cold. Global warming's not a thing, Greta. But I digress. Let's talk about Freddy Peralta. Let's talk about the New York Mets. I just purchased tickets for spring training game in Bradenton, Florida. I'm going down February 25th. I'll be there till March 4th. My good friend Brett Milletta and I share the same birthday. He's turning the ripe old age of 60. I shall be turning 61. So March 2nd is our birthday. We're going to go out and have a birthday dinner at a very nice steakhouse. He's putting that all together. But I purchased tickets for us. We're going to go see Pete Alonso playing the Pittsburgh Pirates in Bradenton. I'm very excited. I bought the tickets on the first base line. I'm going to try to get Pete to give a shout out to Angie's Angles. We'll see how successful we are. Maybe I could do a little short with Pete, professing how much I disagree with the Mets hierarchy and the way they mishandle him. Not even the way they handled him, the way they mishandled him. 5 years, 155 was a very affordable contract. And if you're in the camp that thinks that Alonso's going to regress, I personally don't. There's no stats proving that he's going to digress or degress. Or no, I digress. Regress from his production. He's averaged 158 games per season. If you back out the 57 games that they played during COVID, that doesn't count. He's durable. He's the most hit batter in baseball, at least on the Mets. He proves that he's durable. His scoop rate is off the charts, #1 in the major leagues. So we're gonna miss Pete. I'm gonna miss Pete. I won't speak for the fandom. We're gonna miss Pete Alonso. Dana, what's going on, love? Thanks for signing on. I appreciate you. Dana Brown, dialing it in from Ronkonkoma. Thanks for joining, hon. We appreciate you. So, Freddy Peralta. So if he gets off to a rapid start, and the Mets with their revamped lineup, which is phenomenal, and the thing about the lineup, last year I screamed from the mountaintops that Juan Soto's not a #2 hitter. You can't have Juan Soto hitting #2. You just can't. Now, but Angie gets on base, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. No, Juan Soto's a #3 hitter. #3 without a doubt. He hit the 48 home runs last year. You can't have him hitting solo home runs or 2-run bombs if Lindor gets on base. He's got to bat third. You'll get the same production, if not better, if the second guy gets on base. Now we got first and second. The pitcher can't afford to walk Soto because we'll have Bichette, Polanco, Beatty, Vientos, Alvarez all behind that lineup. Hey, Jimmy Lowe, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for signing on to Angie's Angles. Appreciate you. So we're giving shout outs as soon as you pop up on the screen. I welcome feedback, comments, opinions. We'll put you on the big screen. We'll give you a little 15 seconds of fame on Angie's Angles. I want to thank everybody. The last 3 weeks, and Brett Milletta is really pounding this into me about my viewerships, that I need to increase it, and he's helped me with subject titles and thumbnails, and he's been just tremendous. So, Brett, I appreciate you. I've averaged over 100 views per the last 3 weeks, so we're trending upwards. Eric, we got to give up the Bauer chant. It's not happening, not ever. So let's just hang that up. What is available, though, is we still got, and this is mind-boggling, and maybe this is his attitude preventing a team from signing him, what he did to the catcher. But Framber Valdez is very available. Lucas Giolito, very available. So, I want us to get Framber Valdez. It just solidifies our rotation. He's a bona fide lefty. He's got heart and soul on the mound. He's afraid of nobody, apparently, including his team and his catcher. So why not bring this guy onto the team? So I, for one, am a Framber Valdez fan. I would love to see him be part of the Mets rotation. That allows us some flexibility. That allows us to maybe move Manaea as a number 5 guy, or maybe possibly a swing guy like Sid Fernandez did in the playoffs in the World Series in '86. Sid was tremendous out of the bullpen. And Manaea showed us last year for the first 2 innings he was unhittable, and then he broke down for whatever reason. Third time around the lineup, he was exposed. Eric, we're going to put you up on the big board. Do I really believe that Trevor Bauer is being blackballed? Blackballed, ostracized, ignored. choose the adjective. It doesn't matter to me. But Trevor Bauer was unceremoniously banned from baseball. It's been proven that this was a scam. But let's not forget, he did partake in um, sexual deviant behavior, although while it was consensual, and that's what got him in the hot water. Had he not done that, he'd still be playing baseball for the Dodgers or somebody else, Cincinnati Reds, whomever was interested in signing him. But that's been thanks, John. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the comment. My good buddy from the Cigar Lounge right here at Smoke Therapy. So Freddy Peralta, what Carlos Mendoza needs to do is give his pitching staff, his starting rotation, some rope. Okay. Too many times he pulled a Manea, a Holmes, a Griffin Canning, who also the Mets should sign. You could have Griffin Canning for a bag of peanuts right now. I'm sure he'd be very happy to sign for whatever he could get. You can't. It was proven last year with the New York Mets that we did not have enough pitching, i.e., bringing the three guys up from AAA to get us through the playoff run or the playoff hunt, if you will, last year. So you can't have enough pitching. You could go to the 6-man rotation, which I think they're going to plan to do at least maybe in the beginning of the season, and see how that comes out. I'm very happy we held on to Kodai Senga. I think Kodai Senga is a top 3 guy to have a rebound year, comeback player of the year potential, for sure. I think he's got still a lot left in the tank. I think he's got a pride situation where he wants to earn his money, show that he belongs. I mean, before the injury, Kodai was the best pitcher in baseball. He was pitching to a very low 2 ERA. So let me put you up there, John. So my buddy wants me to compare the Football Hall of Fame to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And unless you live under a rock, Bill Belichick was denied admission, first ballot Hall of Fame induction. Now, we no matter who you are, unless you are a New England Patriot fan, you hate Bill Belichick because of the Flakegate, because of Spygate, because he's not warm and fuzzy, because he was a bastard in press interviews after the game, because he didn't give you what you wanted. But bar none, Bill Belichick is top 10 a football coach of all time. Tremendous talent, a genius when it comes to the game of football. And so the NFL came out with a statement that I was just surprised of, saying that the NFL issued a statement that says they're absolutely disgusted that Bill Belichick was passed over, that he certainly belongs in the Hall of Fame. You've got alum from the NFL stating they will not show up for the induction ceremony. Now, that's not fair to the guys that are getting inducted. You could show up and still protest the Bill Belichick issue. Those guys who were voted in deserve to be in, and they shouldn't have their ceremony hijacked. Humble opinion. But the NFL came out and said that they're going to look into this. They're going to launch an investigation, et cetera, and they brought up the C word, which is collusion. Now, just like the Baseball Writers Association, you got old farts voting, right? Who sit on the perch, high and mighty, and say, this guy, that guy, this guy don't warrant my vote for whatever reason you are. Eddie Murray is undeniably a Hall of Fame persona. He belongs in the Hall of Fame, but he too went through a couple years of being ignored until he was finally inducted. And that's because they didn't like him. Eddie Murray was a prick. Let's call it what it was. Now, Jeff Kent finally got in through the modern era voting process. But now, Jeff Kent wasn't a prick. He just wasn't warm and fuzzy. He showed up, punched his time clock, played the game, busted his ass, clocked out, and went home. He didn't give the reporters time of day. But that shouldn't preclude you from making it into the Hall of Fame. Thank you, John. I appreciate you. But thank God, the modern day, modern era voters got Jeff Kent in. He belongs without a shadow of a doubt. One of the most powerful hitting second baseman ever to play the game, right below Rogers Hornsby. Okay, so uh, Honus Wagner. Sorry, Honus Wagner, not Roger. I think he was shortstop. Left field. I don't really remember. I might be old, but I wasn't around during those days. Eric Schuster, Jose Reyes does not belong in the Hall of Fame. Stop, hard stop, period, exclamation point. Jose Reyes was guilty of spousal abuse. Sure, you can make the argument that his wife dropped the charges, but if I'm married to a guy making $10 million a year or whatever, I might drop the charges too to continue my lifestyle. Jose Reyes took himself out of a ball game, and Terry Collins allowed it to cement his batting title. So, no. Look at Ted Williams, played a doubleheader and went 6 for 8 to cement his batting title in that year that he won the batting title. 6 for 8 in a doubleheader. Stop already. I left my lighter in the lounge. All right, so back on the Freddy Peralta bandwagon. I kind of went off course with the NFL, but John was kind enough to bring it up, and we talked about it in the lounge. These baseball, these voters, these news reporters who are now 95 and a half years old, should be removed from their voting abilities. Just like you hit a certain age in certain businesses or oh, thank you, John. Thank you, John. There should be an age limit because these guys lose their mind. They stand on invisible principles for the most part. You can't give me an honest reason why Bill Belichick was denied Hall of Fame on the first ballot. He'll get in maybe even next year, but what do you do? You denied him a year, but he's still going to be in there. And if I was Bill Belichick, I say screw you. I don't want to be in, just like Schilling. Schilling's not in the Hall of Fame because of his political stances, for his outspokenness. That should play no part in what you did on the field. Now, Ange, what about Pete Rose? Well, Pete Rose did things on the field as a manager that possibly altered games by him betting on it, okay? If you're a gambler, I don't care who you are, and even if you bet on the Cincinnati Reds, you're more apt to make dire moves and changes to try to win that game that you normally wouldn't. You let the game play out. If his pitcher was getting banged around in the third inning, he pulled him because he doesn't want to lose the game, etc., etc. Hey, Lane Kerner, how are you? How do I feel about the Mets? Well, anybody that knows me and Angie's Angles knows that I'm a diehard, absolute optimist with the Mets. If we're in September and we're 10 games out and there's 11 games to play, I think we still have a chance to make first place. Now, call that myopic insanity for sure, but that's another story for another day. So, hey, Coach, what's going on?
What's up?
Coach is in the house.
Hello, people.
It's soccer, Coach. We don't really cover soccer on Angie's Angles. If I have insomnia, I turn on the soccer game. I fall asleep in about 2.3 seconds.
You don't know what you're missing, Angelo. You don't know what you're missing.
Anyway, I'll digress back again to the baseball. I'm excited about the New York Mets. I am still devastated, and I will not get over the fact that they treated Pete Alonso like the ugly redheaded stepchild in the room. Pete Alonso at 5'155". I don't care if he is 4-5. He fell on his face and needed oxygen to get to first base. Pete Alonso managed to play 158 games a year. God bless you. he was the sole reason we beat the Brewers in 24. He was the heart and soul. He was our polar bear. So I will not forgive the Mets for allowing him to leave. I'm going to be tracking. God bless you. I'm going to be tracking Pete Alonso's home run quest to 500 with the Baltimore Orioles. I think the Baltimore Orioles have done a very good job of becoming more a powerhouse. They're a couple of pitches away. Framber Valdez would probably be a very good addition to the Baltimore staff. So, yeah, Lane, that's what I'm talking about, the Mets roster in 2026. How can you argue the addition of one Bo Bichette? He's a legit 300 batter, a legit clutch guy. Runners in scoring position, his average is above average. So, who am I to say that's not a bad acquisition? But again, it's a 1-year deal. He's got opt-outs after years 2 and 3. So did the Mets do that in anticipation of a lockout? Again, I'll repeat Angie's Angles on January the 29th. I even did it a couple of weeks ago. There will not be a lockout in 2027. It'll be earth-shattering to the game of baseball. Us fans can't stomach that again. I live, breathe, and die for baseball. I can't wait. I've got a 300,000 card baseball collection. I dream baseball, and it's in my blood. So if baseball goes into a lockout again in 2027, I have to readjust my focus, and that's something that's going to be new for 2026 for Angie's Angles. For me personally, I'm going to be refocusing my focus. Right, I got my buddy Brett helping me out with that. People at work, we're going to refocus my focus, and we have to look at it differently. David Stearns, to his credit, rid us of Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, the contracts that were associated with it. We brought in Lewis Robert to play center field, Gold Glove quality caliber center fielder, and 3 years removed from 38 home runs. Now, I'm not anticipating Robert to hit 38 home runs, but I tell you what, if he gives us 25, when was the last time we had a center fielder that hit 25 home runs? And please don't mention Brandon Nimmo, please. He was never a center fielder. He was a center fielder by default. And his noodle arm couldn't throw out my grandmother tagging up from third base going to home. So, let's be real about that. I really think that we're in a good position. I think we're still one pitcher away, whether that be Lucas Giolito, Framber Valdez, Zach Gallan. All of them could be had. I'll be happy with one. So, and then sign Griffin Canning, and that's coming from Kevin Elliott Cavalics. Griffin Canning was phenomenal when he was healthy until he messed up his Achilles. So we're going to see what goes on. Eric Schuster, the Mets should not re-sign Marte. That's another old man that we don't need on the team. So it's going to be important to see how the Mets come out of spring training. Harold Atkins, if baseball locks out, the game will be on life support in such a way it may not recover. And that's echoing my sentiments, Harold, for sure, right? Baseball attendance is waning, although the New York Mets last year set an attendance record of 3 million plus due to Steve Cohen's begging. The fans showed up, but you got to give us a product on the field, and you have to be relevant. Okay. Now, there are a couple of teams that the fans will show up no matter what. Chicago Cubs, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, because of Dollywood and Hollywood out there. So that's important. You got to have a fan base, and I've been on record saying, if you want to know your true fan base, count the heads at first pitch and last pitch. Everybody in between are wannabes. They want to be a baseball fan, but they're not. They're just showing up to the ballpark because their corporation had the free tickets, had the free box seats. They're bringing their girlfriend, significant other to show off that they're high and mighty, but they're all gone after the 6th or 7th inning. So I covered a wide range of topics. We included football, which is really not my mantra or my wheelhouse, but I was asked to do so, and I gladly did. We're going to jump into the prayer circle right now. Harold Sanderson, praying for Dawn Squared, your wife and your co-worker. Carol and Bob, good news to report. Jerry's coming off the prayer circle list. He's doing very well, but we're adding Doug and Allison. Allison was just diagnosed with breast cancer. They caught it early. It looks good. So we're hoping for good news for Doug and Allison. Terry Sanchez, we're praying for your mom's legs. Antoinette Brooks, as your brother Mike's still looking for a kidney. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Linda Stein, we're praying for your hand, your dad, and life in general. Kevin Elliott, continuing health issues, we're praying for you. Kraus family, we're praying for Aubrey. I believe that's their 16-year-old daughter who had cancer and is in remission. Devin Lee, we're praying for your health, Lee. Mary and Bella, we're praying for your mom. Larry Levy, Frida, your wife, also in remission. We've got updates on Mr. McGowan. He's back in rehab. He's in and out of, lack of a better word, consciousness. I plan on going to see Mr. McGowan Monday or Tuesday of next week at the rehab place. If I do so and he's up to it, we'll do a little Angie's Angles with Mr. McGowan, and we'll see how that goes. Ralph, we're praying for you, sir, as you're dealing with life and health issues. Pete and Shani, I understand, are on a cruise. Good for them. Pete's going to rejoin us next week, so look forward to a hot Angie's Angles next week. Big John, Smoke Therapy, we're praying for your friend Irene. Joe Echevarria, we're praying for your heart. West Coast Dave Prince, blood work. Johnny Barbecue's recovering from his sciatica. Johnny W., praying for Elizabeth. Johnny V., we're praying for your father-in-law. Mark Brooks, we're praying for you to stay vertical. Anaya's uncle and your sister-in-law, Sue, update on Sue. She's getting much better, so thank God for that. Kelly, my sister-in-law, we're praying for your health challenges. Kelly's going to go in for an operation to deal with some issues. We're praying for my son, Angie, for his potential promotion at Starbucks. And Tom wants us to pray for Pat going through chemo. So, hey, Lane, we're not really a football channel, so I'm not ignoring you. I'm not versed. I don't know who you speak of in your comments. So I apologize for that. But I appreciate all of you showing up here on Angie's Angles. Please spread the word. Let's keep those views, the views jumping. On Facebook, I had 1,800 views last week, which is great to see. If I could transfer them over to YouTube, I'd be a happy guy. But again, like I've said a million times, if I have one fan watching or viewing or none, I'd be here no matter what, because this is my passion. It's been Angie's Angles, coming to you live from Smoke Therapy. 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. If you're ever in the neighborhood, stop by. Cigars on me. Good night. God bless. I love you.